Hey skiers, I'm Jeff from skiessentials.com.
Hey, I'm Bob. How's it going?
Welcome back to our Top 5 Fridays ski industry news videos. Bob, how are you?
Pretty good. Ready for the weekend.
Yeah, you got fun family activities,
Yeah.
huh?
I'll go down and see my sister in Boston. Should be fun.
If you're in the Boston area,
Give me a
look
wave.
out for Bob. There's a lot of people in the Boston area.
Yeah.
A couple million?
I don't know. I don't leave Lamoille County all that much. So
Can somebody confirm or deny whether there are a couple million people in the greater Boston area?
I'll confirm that there are at least a couple of million people in the greater Boston area.
All right, so never mind. We don't need confirmation from comments. Unless you want to tell Bobby he's wrong or me that I'm silly. So normally I would say that we don't have much Ski Essentials news to cover before we get right into the news, but I don't think we can say that this week
Nope.
because the
New
first
week.
topic is
Yeah.
very Ski Essentials related.
Yep.
If you didn't see on social media yesterday, we are excited to announce that Basin Sports down in Killington is joining our family of businesses.
Yep.
They will be under technically we are Mazel Tec. They will be under the Mazel Tec umbrella,
Yep.
more commonly known as Ski Essentials and Pinnacle.
Yep.
But pretty exciting. We've been working on that for a while. We are technically acquiring their business if you want to look at it from like a business legality perspective. So yeah, pretty cool.
Yeah, and I mean Killington. I think the best part, the main idea is someone's driving up Killington Access Road past Basin, where our
Yeah.
Ski Essentials sign will now be.
Yep.
And say, hey, I know those people from the internet,
Yeah. Yes.
and more business as a result. You know,
And
it's
then
kind of-
right, and then everyone lives happily ever after.
Right.
Including our customers and audience.
Right. No, I think it's a good thing for all involved.
Yeah.
Which is great.
So we're really hoping that it's just going to take the Ski Essentials experience to the next level. We know a lot of our audience lives in the greater Boston area. To bring this, boy,
Right.
really brought that full circle back to the greater Boston area.
Quickly.
Yeah. Boy, we're getting good at this. But no, we know a lot of our customers and our specifically our online audience lives in that area, lives in the greater New York area.
Yep.
And a lot of those people go to Killington. So we've been kind of looking for ways to expand the business, and that just felt like a perfect fit.
Yeah.
And yeah, I personally really like Killington area, so it should be good excuse to do a little more skiing down there.
Right.
Mountain biking, skiing.
Yep. No, I like it too.
Yeah, all good things.
Mhm.
So we'll have more news about this, more details as we kind of move through it. Nothing's like, I wouldn't say that anything is like completely done yet. It's been a major project.
Yeah.
But in theory, eventually you will be able to make a purchase on skiessentials.com and potentially pick it up at the Basin.
Right.
So keep your eyes and ears out for those announcements.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, all exciting things.
Yep.
It's been a busy couple months over here.
Yeah, for sure.
So really cool. Let us know if you have any questions. You know, if people are curious more about that.
We might not have the exact right answer, but
Yeah, chances
can
are I
work on
don't
it.
have the exact right answer, but I can probably get it from somebody. So yeah, really looking forward to working with those guys. We've met most of their staff. You know, we will be taking over ownership, but the majority of their staff,
yeah.
like on floor staff, the people that if you've been to the Basin before that you've interacted with will likely still be there.
Yeah.
I say likely because that's a good example of something that like I don't really
Right.
know the exact answer to. But anyways, fun
Good
first
stuff.
topic.
Yep.
Second topic of the week, when we were prepping this, Bob mentioned that this one really was geared towards me.
Right up your alley.
Yeah. So we've got the final part 8 of the Inside the Skiing Pipeline series that we've been covering. And this one encourages the Alpine world to look to the Nordic world for inspiration. And if you don't know, I grew up as a Nordic ski racer, so I'm a little more in tune with that world than I would say most skiers. And a lot of this stuff really did hit right home for me. So one thing that I thought was interesting is that on the Nordic side of the spectrum, rather than like one recommended pipeline like exists on the alpine world. If you're trying to make it to the World Cup or Olympic level, there are multiple different pathways that one can take to achieve that result. And that's kind of one of the major issues with alpine skiing right now.
Yeah, they always talk about like the pyramid and
Right.
like the feeder programs going up and up and up. And I think that the Nordic, they're working on multiple linear options.
It's a wider
going
triangle?
to the top. No, I think
Flatter
it's
triangle?
more of a square.
Oh, sure. All
So
right.
like the top is wider
Yep.
than it is in the
I like-
alpine world.
I
So
like
you
that
have
way
these
of thinking about it.
multiple pathways up, as opposed to the pyramid where if you miss a level, then you're done.
Well, and I think on the alpine side, like the bottom of the pyramid's small too.
Yeah,
Like you gotta like be in kind of the right spots to then make it to the next
yeah,
tier of that ladder, so to speak.
right.
So I thought that was interesting. And then the other big thing that they talked about was that there's more of a team culture in Nordic, which that's really the part that I can relate to. Growing up, especially in like high school level sports, the Nordic team and the Alpine team were like kind of under the same umbrella of like ski team.
Yeah.
Yeah. And just like the camaraderie and the friendship and like the trust level and stuff like that with your teammates was drastically different on the Nordic side than the Alpine side.
Yeah.
Sometimes it felt like all the Alpine skiers kind of hated each other, and the Nordic team was a group of like 50 best friends.
Right.
So I thought that was pretty interesting. If you go to a Nordic race at any level, you're gonna see teammates of competitors out there on the race course like cheering extremely enthusiastically.
Yeah.
It's like part of the culture, where I feel like Alpine is just much more of like an individual experience.
Right.
Like, I don't know. So, as our esteemed colleague Matt put it, a rising tide lifts all boats.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Good job, Matt. So maybe the Alpine side will take some inspiration from the Nordic side, and we've seen some great success from particularly the women's Nordic team. Skiers like Jessie Diggins, like they're really setting an example of the future.
Yeah.
Pretty strong depth on that Nordic team too.
Yeah, and even like in our town here, I mean, we have like multiple junior leagues.
For Nordic.
There's like Bill Koch, Stowe Nordic, like, there's definitely multiple pathways that are more accessible for more kids versus alpine skiing. And we can just see that in our one little town here.
Yeah, and like Nordic skiers peak at like age 35.
Right.
At least men. I'm not
It's
sure
a
if that's stat.
long game.
Right. So it's like, unlike the alpine pipeline, like you have a much better chance of becoming a successful Nordic skier in your like mid to late 20s.
Yeah.
Rather than like getting your foot in the door when you're 18.
Yeah.
Like that's not as important. So kind of interesting there. And then third topic of the week, this is an interesting article from the Salt Lake Tribune, kind of diving deeper into the controversy regarding Park City's lift upgrades. What do you think about this one, Bob?
I just think it's an interesting concept that mountains think that they can just keep putting in lifts and the product will get better without having consideration for other things.
Sure.
So, they're trying to create this algorithm, I guess.
That's what it sounds like.
For, what is it? Comfortable carrying capacity? Is that what?
You hit the nail on the head.
Nice. So trying to figure out what the maximum number of people they can have skiing there.
Yeah, so that's kind of what basically 4 residents appealed this announcement from Park City and effectively stopped the development, or at least paused the development. And basically the reason that they could is because of this comfortable carrying capacity. So this article kind of shed more light on what that is. I will admit that that's not a term that I had ever heard before. I didn't even know this was a thing that ski areas had to adhere to, and I don't even know if they all have to adhere to, if this is a countrywide thing or just a particular thing for certain contracts, certain use agreements.
I mean, I'd heard of it before, and I think it's kind of like a zoning permit.
right,
that you have to abide by.
If you're like leasing the land.
Right.
Or something. Yeah. So anyways, to kind of put it as simply as possible, the formula is basically the number of skiers potentially transported uphill divided by the average number of runs per day, which feels like an interesting number.
There's just so many variables.
Right, exactly.
So many variables.
Exactly. Yeah.
What's a run? How many?
Exactly. Does a magic carpet ride count as a run?
Right. Is there a standard number for a one? Is it a change of 100 vertical feet?
Right.
I don't know what that number is.
And something that I also thought was interesting is it sounds like you can hire multiple different companies and get multiple different answers.
We should start a company for
calculating comfortable
that.
carrying capacity.
Yeah.
Sure.
We'll fudge our numbers.
Yeah. Charge you a bunch of money and then be like 4.
4. Yeah. That's your number.
What would that mean? 4. It's got to be. These numbers have to be more in like the thousands.
Thousands. Yeah. 4,000.
4 would mean that you can only have like 10 skiers at your mountain.
Right. Well, there's places that would enjoy that.
Yeah, like how does the Yellowstone Club calculate their comfortable carrying capacity?
I don't know. I assume they operate by a different set of rules.
They don't have that.
No.
You just pay money.
You're right. Their capacity is no.
If you have to ask, no, you can't come here. So I thought that was interesting. Definitely encourage you to go check that out if you're like us and you want to learn more about comfortable carrying capacities.
Especially a very urban ski area like Salt Lake,
right?
Like Park City. It's
right.
just there's a lot of infrastructure there. I'm sure that there's lots of things that they have to consider.
Totally. And then fourth topic of the week, our last topic of the week. I bet you've seen this because it's been kind of hovering around social media for a while now. Vermont Suicide 6 has rebranded to Saskadena Six, both to honor Indigenous people and to remove any mental health connotations. Before we get into any thoughts, Saskadena translates to standing mountain, which we both agreed was a great name.
Yep, pretty accurate. I mean, that hill is
pretty steep,
pretty straight up.
Right, stands up right in front of you. It's not a laying down mountain.
No.
A gradual mountain.
Right.
So I like the name. As is the case with issues or topics like this, there was some backlash in social media, which you'll get.
Yeah.
But I was reading through the comments on the actual official announcement, and it was like, I would say the ratio of positive to negative was 95-5.
Which is pretty, I would say, rare.
Yes.
These days for internet comments.
It often looks like 50-50.
Right.
And you're just like, whoa.
Yeah.
How do these people even begin to exist in the same society?
Yeah.
But yeah, I think for one, I think they got the name. They nailed it.
Yeah,
with
nailed
the
the
new
name. Yep.
A lot of people have a ton of respect for Indigenous people, and I think this is a great way to kind of shed some light on that.
Right.
And yeah, I don't think a mountain needs to be named Suicide.
No, and I think that their whole point was we don't want to alienate anyone that's struggled with mental health or has had suicide issues in their friends and family. So,
right.
I mean, good for them for taking the initiative and being proactive about it.
Yeah. And guess what? When you're a company, you can do whatever you want.
Right.
They can change their name to whatever they want. So if anyone doesn't like it,
ski elsewhere.
Not really your choice. Yeah, you don't. Your opinion. You obviously are entitled to your own opinion, but they don't have to listen to you.
Right.
So, great job. Like the name.
Yep.
It's fun to say.
No, totally.
And then lastly, we have our edits of the week. So first one, this is pretty unique. It's called Scandinavian Team Battle, and it was a dry slope competition on that big dry slope that wraps around a big tall hotel.
Is it a hotel or is it like a?
I think it's a hotel.
Not like a waste treatment facility.
I can't remember because and that's bad because we did cover this on Top 5.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it wraps around a hotel.
Okay.
It's not a hotel, it's like a mall or something. But anyways, some pretty cool dry slope skiing from different Scandinavian countries, teams. Yeah. I'd love to be able to go watch that. Just looked like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Really just fascinating the way that they built that too. Second edit of the week, we have the Level 1 week at Windell's recap. Pretty short, as all these kind of summer camp weekly recaps are. I think it's about a minute and a half, so really quick watch there. And then this one's awesome. Another mountain bike edit. We've been featuring more mountain bike edits this year. You may know Michaela Gatto from Fur to Girls. That video was all over the place a few years ago. Extremely well done. If you haven't seen it, I would go check that out. This is called Wonderland, and just another very different than Fur to Girls. But just extremely well produced. And I really like things like this that kind of take traditional like action edits, like extreme sports edits, and kind of just give a little bit more artistic impression to them. So definitely worth a watch.
Yeah.
Even if you're not a mountain biker, like just like we were saying last week about like crazy, scary mountain bike edits. Even if you're not a mountain biker, those things are super fun to watch. Maybe fun is the wrong word. This is fun to watch. Those are scary.
Those are scary.
But still, like, worthwhile to watch if you're not a mountain biker. And that's it for Top 5 Fridays this week. Like I said at the beginning when we were talking about the Basin, let us know if you have any questions, comments. Bob, hope you have a fantastic weekend.
Thanks. Should be fun.
Hopefully anybody in the Boston area, maybe you'll find Bob and you can say from a respectful distance, like, hey, Bob, I love your work.
I'll let you know if that happens.
Everyone's respectful, right?
Oh, yeah.
So, hope you all have a fantastic weekend, and we'll talk to you next week.
Bye.